Hey, welcome to this new episode of Off to 7,000 Islands. And my name is Eric, and my wife and I are living here in the Philippines. And my parents are just visiting, so we made a little trip in the last week of their holiday here in the Philippines to explore Mindoro a little bit more with them together. And first we drove to Pinamalayan, which is sort of kind of in the center of Mindoro, the island where we live. And here we stay in a little hotel and beach resort which is called Positadi. They have a nice place. We've been there last year, but we've been there in the summer. There you can sleep on the beach. This time we actually rented some rooms just behind me here, and it's very nice. We are gladly coming back. We're enjoying this, and now you can see after the pandemic there is definitely more, everything is running again very well, so that's nice. Have good food. We arrived there yesterday. Today is Monday, so everything is very quiet, and yesterday was also very quiet, but there were a few more people. Now we are alone here in the off season. It's quite rainy and sometimes, but there was still a really nice sunset, and here are some impressions of Positadi here in Pinamalyan. Well, and I think I did not overstate it. It's very nice, very different with the rocks and everything. And now we're going to the beach side of the property, do some swimming, and I'll show you a little bit of that as well before we travel on to Porto Galera tomorrow. Yes, and then we went to the beach, had a little snack in the beginning. The weather wasn't like too crazy good, but it was alright, and it wasn't raining. And you can rent all those things there, and it's just nice there on the beach to be there and relax. It's very flat. You can also rent like more professional things there, and you can also dive there. So it's very flat. But then a few hundred meters out it drops down very steep, but we are not divers, so we don't really know about it. But we also rented one of those bicycles, which is very fun to do actually, and we enjoyed it a lot. But it's very tiring, surprisingly. But as I said, there you can see it's very flat, and it's really nice to actually just go there. Also for the children, probably not bad there. And then we tried some coconut schnapps from the tree, so it's not from the nut but from the tree itself, and we tried it. It gets directly fermented there on the tree, and here's how it goes. So Kokos Palm Schnaps. Wie heißt das?
Tuba.
Tuba. Coconut Tree Schnaps. Booze.
Zitrus. Also, kann man schwer beschreiben.
Und?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. So when the little shoots coming out for the little fruits, then they quickly cut it. That the juice comes out of those little bottles, basically,
Ah, okay.
so that they don't become a fruit.
And I just want to say, like, we live in Mindoro, and Mindoro is kind of an underrated island, I think, in the Philippines, but it's very nice, and you don't have much mass tourism, only in Porto Galera, basically, but you can drive one time around, and it's very nice. And if you take a few days to travel around here, you can stop in certain places, and if you start in Calapan, you can look at Porto Galera if you want, but that's mass tourism. But we show it later in the video as well. And then you go here to Pinamalayan, stop, and then you travel on, and you could come to us, of course, to Bulalakaw, which is in the south. And then you also have a ferry connection, a very good ferry connection to Boracay. So if you don't want to just take an airplane and want to see a bit more of the Philippines, but actually want to travel to Boracay, you could do that with us. And then I would recommend to stay in Calapan or Porto Galera for one night, then in Pinamalayan for one night, and then in Bulalakaw for one night, and then you go in the morning with the ferry to Boracay, or you travel around it. Bulalakaw for us is basically the last stop before you get into the other side of the island, almost then already on the way back. So that's quite some nice stops, and then it doesn't have long drives in between, so you can actually make it a holiday and not just driving, because driving in the Philippines is not that much fun on the road. So it's more about the destination, I think, and that's what I would recommend. We haven't really traveled the other side of Mindoro Occidental, but that will come as well. In the end, I just want to show you this little piece here from the ants. It's an ants street, and it's very impressive, and I just found it there on the property as well. And as long as you don't step on it, they don't do anything to you, but it's very impressive. Even if I don't like insects, this one is quite big. And also just wanted to say that we are connected to the owners there, so that's why we always go there. They're friends of the family, and there's many other places around there as well, so you don't need to go there, but that's why we always go to this particular place. And they've been really affected by the lack of tourists, which didn't came because of the oil spill, which was in Mindoro, but it was very contained in one area, and they were actually not affected by it. It's the same as for us, we were not affected by it here in the south of the island. So if you want to support them, then go back to those places and help them to, well, re-employ some of the employees they had to lay off because there's so little tourists came recently. But now the oil spill is dealt with in most places, and you can really travel freely again here in Mindoro without worrying that you go to a beach and there would be oil. So it wasn't that much, and they actually handled it fairly well. That's just in the end, but thank you very much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet, and we see you in the next one.